In this video, we will talk about the rewind function, which is used with files in C programming language. We use this rewind function in order to move the file position indicator to the beginning of the file. Now here, in order to explain this, what I have done is I have opened the input.txt in reading mode. If I open up the input.txt file, this is the content that I have in this file, and this fopen function returns a pointer to the structure of type file, and this particular structure contains information about the file that we are working with. It contains the file position indicator, which will tell us where exactly we are in the file. It contains other indicators like the EOF indicator, which will indicate whether we have read everything in the file, whether we have reached the end of the file. And then it has the other indicators like the error indicator and etc. So basically we can say that the file structure contains the information about the file that we are working with. So when the file is opened successfully here, what I'm doing is I'm using the fgetc function in order to read the contents of the file character by character. So what this fgetc function does is it reads a character from the file, it increments the file position indicator. And when there is nothing left in the file to read, or if any error occurs while reading from the file, this fgetc function returns the EOF, which is nothing but the end of file character. And when that happens, the while loop terminates. Since we are using this fgetc function inside this while loop, it will read everything from the file. So by the end of this while loop, we will be at the end of the file. We have read everything from the file. So now if I save this program and if I run this, we get the output, which is nothing but the content of the file. Now by the end of this while loop, the structure which is pointed by this file pointer will have the file position indicator pointing to the end of the file. It will be at the end because this while loop has moved the file position indicator to the end. And also the EOF indicator will be set, which will just mean that we have read everything from the file. There is nothing left in the file to read. Now what if I want to read this file again? For example, what happens if I copy this while loop and if I paste it in here again? My goal here is to read the contents of the file 2 times. Now if I save this program and if I run this, now you guys can see we get output only once. Why? What happened here is this while loop will read everything from the file, and when this second while loop is executed, so when this fgetc function tries to read from the file, there is nothing left in the file to read because the file position is indicating that we are in the end. So this while loop will stop and there is nothing left in the file to read. So in this scenario, if I want to read from the file twice, what I have to do is after reading from the file by using the first while loop, we have to move the file position indicator to the beginning, and for that we can use the rewind function. If you talk about the syntax, we just have to provide the file pointer and this function doesn't return any value. So what it does is it resets the file position indicator to the beginning of the file. It resets the EOF and error indicators pointed by this file pointer. So because of that, when we try to read from the file again, what happens is the file read operation will begin from the beginning. So here we will use the rewind function. So it will be rewind, and all I have to do is I have to provide the file pointer, so which is pointed by this fp. So now if I save and run this program, we can see we get the contents twice. Now in order to make it pretty, if I want, I can insert a new line in here. So I will use put s and I will display nothing. It will just insert a new line. And if I save this program and if I run this again, you guys can see we are reading from the file twice. So just like this, if you want to move the file position indicator to the beginning of the file, whenever you are working with the file, you can use this rewind function. Here in this example, I'm using it for displaying the read operation. You can use it when performing the write operation, or you can use it when performing the read and write operation. So depending on your situation, whenever if you have to move the file position indicator to the beginning, then you can use this rewind function. Now I want you guys to try the code where you use this function while writing to the file. So what happens is first you write some content to the file, and then you use the rewind function and reset the file position indicator to the beginning, and then you write some other content to the file. So what it does is it will overwrite the contents. I want you guys to try that code. Now, by the way, if you don't understand this particular part where we are using the fgetc function in order to read from the file, then I recommend you guys to watch the other tutorials in this course. So this is it guys for this particular video. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. If you have anything to say, write that in the comment box. For more tutorials, subscribe to the channel.